In the ancient city of Jerusalem, as the sun begins to crest over the horizon, a new day of labor and devotion begins for the faithful. Meet Adoniram, a dedicated Levite administrator whose life is defined by order, precision, and a profound commitment to the sacred principles of financial stewardship. For Adoniram, every grain and every coin is a gift from the Almighty, requiring a careful accounting to ensure that God's house remains well provided. He looks toward the majestic temple, feeling the weight of his responsibility and the joy of serving the community through organized faith and diligent management. The first step in faithful stewardship is understanding the true extent of the harvest, realizing that we must first measure what we have been given. Adoniram enters the storehouse where the wealth of the fields is gathered, ready to begin the meticulous process of identifying the total income received today. He begins a systematic count, his stylus moving across the clay tablet to record each basket, ensuring not a single portion of the harvest is overlooked. Just as Adoniram tracks his grain, we are called to track our earnings, identifying the full scope of our blessings before we decide how to give. As he calculates the portions, an ancient tradition meets a modern standard, reminding us that the biblical 10% is a timeless guide for giving. Once the harvest is assessed, the next phase begins: the intentional organization of portions. Separating what belongs to the Lord from the common stock, with great care he separates the first fruits and the finest grain, placing them into a specific section of the storehouse reserved only for tithes. This act of separation is more than just logistics. It is a physical manifestation of putting God first in every area of our financial lives. To maintain transparency and order, Adoniram consults a detailed scroll where he logs each contribution, ensuring that every family's gift is properly acknowledged and recorded. Organized record-keeping allows us to see the faithfulness of the community and ensures that resources are managed with the highest level of integrity and care. Beyond the mandatory tithe, there are the offering's voluntary gifts of gratitude. Adoniram labels each jar clearly to distinguish these special contributions from the rest. Each jar represents a heart overflowing with thanks, and Adoniram treats each one with the reverence it deserves as a sacred offering to the Lord. At the heart of any system of stewardship is the recognition that tracking is not just about accounting. It is a deeply spiritual discipline of trust. He takes a moment to pray over the records, asking for wisdom to use these resources to bless the people and honor the temple's mission. To further organize the temple's needs, he uses different colored wax seals to categorize various funds, ensuring that each copper coin goes exactly where needed. One seal marks funds for temple maintenance, ensuring the physical house of God is kept in beauty and repair for all who come to worship. Another seal designates support for the widows and orphans, reminding us that stewardship always carries a mandate to care for the most vulnerable among us. Though the tools have changed over thousands of years, the principle remains. Clear categories lead to effective and impactful ministry in the modern world. The scroll dissolves into a modern smartphone screen, displaying a simple tithe tracking app, bridging the ancient wisdom of Adoniram with today's digital age. Whether on clay, parchment, or a digital screen, the goal is the same: to be a faithful steward of the resources God has entrusted to us. When we track with faithfulness, we see the true fruit of our stewardship. The community begins to thrive as resources are distributed and utilized effectively. The baskets of grain and jars of oil Adoniram managed now provide food and joy for the community, a direct result of organized, faithful giving. Adoniram looks on from the storehouse steps, a peaceful smile touching his lips as he sees the tangible blessing of his diligent labor and tracking. He knows that because everything is in order, the work of the Lord can continue without lack, and the people are strengthened in their faith. The blessing of faithfulness is not just in the wealth we keep, but in the impact we create when we honor God with our first fruits. Now, it is your turn to take up the stylus or the smartphone. Begin today by organizing your faith and honoring your personal harvest. When we track our tithes and offerings, we are not just counting numbers. We are testifying to God's provision and our commitment to His kingdom. Let us be like Adoniram, diligent and precise, so that our lives and our finances may always reflect the glory of the one who gives all.